Hello there. This would be a new channel, mostly based on sports type content, mostly revolving around football content. It's mostly going to be commentary on recent events in football. It's mostly opinion based and probably has some bits of analysis on certain situations in football, mostly concerning to most people, or what most people are like attracted to at the moment. This first video will actually be about my prediction for the Champions League final. That's going to be played on June 1st between Tottenham and Liverpool. Tottenham comes into this final after defeating Ajax on away goals, or due to away goals. Liverpool comes into this final after beating Barcelona 4-3 on aggregate. And these two teams are probably very equally matched, or on paper, or maybe even player to player. As a comparison, these two teams really know each other really well since they both play each other in the Premier League. They played each other twice this season. They know each other's stadiums. I mean, that will probably want to do a lot of help in this match since they'll be playing in El Wanda Metropolitano. But they both know each other to a great extent, more than if they would be playing like Barcelona or maybe Ajax or things like that. But I mean, they're really well known. They really know each other to a certain extent. If I probably had to give a prediction just right now, I would probably go with Liverpool, since the way they've been playing week in and week out, fighting, grinding for games just to get the points that they need in the league, beating the opponents very, very reasonably. Liverpool, they just beat the better team to get into the final. They've been playing a better style of play, and they're coming into this final way better than I would say Tottenham is, who's probably missing key players. Here are some of the reasons why I think Tottenham will actually beat Liverpool in the final. One of the reasons I think Tottenham won't beat Liverpool in the final is because they actually haven't beaten an opponent since the round of 16. I mean by this is that they haven't beat an opponent in a convincing way, meaning on aggregate goals. Tottenham only has beaten Dortmund, which was in the round of 16, which they beat them very convincingly. Basically, I don't remember the aggregate, but it was like goleada, like they beat them by more than like 5 goals, I think it was 5, like 5-0, 5-1, but very convincingly. But after that, they faced Man City. I mean, to me, Man City is a greater team, and I bet you to probably everybody, Man City is a greater team. And like they did the business away from home. I'm not gonna lie. They got or maybe no, they did the business at home. My bad. They actually beat Man City in their home game, their first game, I think. And then they would travel to Manchester, and they lost that game. They lost 4-3. Because of the away goal, the away goals that they accumulated, they won on aggregate. So I don't know what that really means, but basically they tied on aggregate, but because of the away goals, they count more, so they went through. To me, it's kind of stupid. Away goals, for me, in my opinion, they should be done away with, because I feel like it's just hurting the sport. Basically, to me, not Tottenham is like a mediocre team, but to me, like the one that had the greater style of play, the one that mostly excites, the one that has been doing the job like good, or having better results or having a better style of play, is Man City. And Guardiola has implemented his style there, and his team is like, they're just playing beautifully. And compared to Tottenham, who basically just won because of referee decisions, VAR decisions, I don't know. It's not very convincingly to me. Then even the next game, they basically beat Ajax in a half, which is very impressive. But like to that circumstance, Ajax played like 140, 160 minutes of like perfect football, like three halves of amazing football, attacking football, putting Tottenham on the ropes basically. That first game and the second one to like the first half, and then their coach just has this crazy idea of making them go back, just defend the result, and that's what killed them in the end, because Ajax is not a defending team. They don't have that style of play. It's not like Atletico or I guess Juve or Italian teams that are more defensively stable and they play to that extent. But it mostly killed them, and then he should have just let the younger team just play. He should have just let them. The coach just should have let Ajax do what it has been doing, and he should have just continued with this plan, which was like being executed to perfectly. And Tottenham just basically won because of one half, because Lucas Moura played this crazy good game. But even some of those goals that he scored, to me, like it just, I mean, we can make excuses all day. Like the Tottenham did go through and Lucas Moura did score those goals, but like to me the second one was like basically a gift. Like how is like Llorente missed that open chance, and then Onana somehow saves it. It bounces off him. It goes right in front of him. And then Schürrle, or I don't know how to say his name, but the number 20 on Ajax actually just gets in front of Onana, which makes him incapable of getting that ball. And then like it falls on Lucas Moura, and Lucas Moura just does like a fake, and it just turns, and automatically there's a goal. And to me, that was just a defensive error, and I know a lot of teams have those, and they pay costly for it. The same as like Man City, where Laporte had 2 defensive errors, which cost them both the goals. And I guess, I mean, just how clinical Tottenham's front men are, which Song just put them in both right post, super close to the post, side netting. It's like he's amazing. He's a good player. And so because of those players that Tottenham has, they were able to go through, which is an excuse to an extent. But to me, it's not winning in a convincing way. And then the Llorente goal, whether it touched his hand or not, or whether the offsides goal at the end, which like basically it was just the VAR decision that just made Tottenham go through. I don't know. It's just a lot of decisions that I see that Tottenham is just... It's like, I don't know, like even the Ajax game where it's just being a fan, just being... You think it's football, but to me it's not, because winning in that sort of way where you just do long balls and then just expect your tall forward to bring it down and then hold up the play so then your other teammates can come into the play and try to score off that. To me, it's not football, especially not like against like a team against like Man City, who like Kevin De Bruyne was like putting like amazing passes. Raheem Sterling was like running off, and he was just punishing them, and like they were just. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's not a convincing way, and to me, the only one they actually beat was Dortmund, which even Dortmund played good, but not in these games. But they came off the latter part of the second season syndrome where they basically fell off to a greater extent. Then another reason that I think Tottenham is not going through is because of they'll be missing key players in this match, and like the biggest one being Harry Kane, which is like coming off some ankle injury. And to me, he's not like the best striker or best forward or best number 9 in the world, but he has proven it with the stats, and like you can't take that for granted. He scored like 20 plus goals for like probably 3-4 seasons now, except this season. But I mean, he has been doing it for quite a while now, so you can't just take that out of context. He's the highest scorer in the World Cup, this past World Cup, the 2018 World Cup. And for me, the only thing that I really admire that I think he's world class at is probably penalties. His penalty technique is amazing. He strikes the ball at a super high, with a lot of power, with a lot of technique. It's very precise to where he wants it, and he really makes the goalie have to dive to try to save it. And to me, he's been really accurate with his penalties. But like that's just one thing I would say that he's like world class. But in other areas, yeah, probably better than a lot of forwards out there. But yeah, to me, he's not the best one in the world. And then I think Song didn't play the last league game, or I don't know. I don't really know. But I think he's maybe one that they're missing. And I mean, for me, just Llorente, Lucas Moura, your front line that doesn't really look that convincing against Virgil van Dijk and Andrew Robertson. And another reason why I think Tottenham won't beat Liverpool in this final is due to their style of play. I kind of specified on one of the past points how like they just play long balls to the forwards and basically hold up the play for like the rest of the team or the rest of their teammates to get involved into the play to try to capitalize, to try to score off the possession. But I mean, to me, it's not really a convincing style of play. It's not really going to get you that far. And I mean, I'm pretty amazed how like they're in the final to begin with that style of play. But I mean, that's for one part. And like defending a result, basically, not saying that they parked the bus, but their style of play is not really that convincingly attractive like Manchester City's is, or probably Liverpool's, like it's attacking football, or Ajax even, who's been like pressing everybody. And so like that's a big issue that I see in Tottenham's game that's gonna not play in their favor, and that it's just in the favor of Liverpool. Also, Tottenham's record against Liverpool in the league. Tottenham's faced them twice in the league, and both times they've lost. And I know people would say that one of them was because of a penalty, or one of them was because of a Hugo Lloris mistake. But either way, not winning one game against Liverpool, it's not really very convincing, or doesn't really apply to me. But I know this is a one-off game in a neutral stadium, and I know anything can happen in a final. And I mean, even that helps boost Mauricio Pochettino's opportunities of trying to beat Liverpool, since he's already seen what they do. I mean, he's watched film. I know both teams have watched film. Both teams have like done their research. They both know each other. So basically, in a one-off game, this really doesn't matter. But Liverpool has the better stats, or the better record against them in these recent games. And I mean, I don't pull it back even last season's, but I'm pretty sure that we're in Liverpool's favor. And Liverpool just has a better team than they did last season. And even you can compare Tottenham to last season, they're still the same team because they still haven't bought anybody, which I think will also play a big part on why they probably won't beat them either. But even Tottenham's league form, you could say, is another problem, because I don't know if they were like third for most of the season, and like towards like the latter parts of the season, they've been like tying and losing games, and they ended up fourth, which is like good for them because they still qualified for the next Champions League. But I mean, they're not really playing into very convincingly to be getting the results in the league. They don't have a good league form. They've been losing even to like lower table teams, which is not very convincing. And just basically the reason of them being there, it just doesn't convince me. It's mostly like fans just being a fan. This fanatism of just saying that, oh, Tottenham is kind of hipster. Oh, they're like a new team. mostly being hated on before, but now they're in the final, and so now I'm gonna root for them. Or wow, just the way they made it into the final. They were down 3 goals on aggregate, and just in one half, Lucas Moura put us back in the game. Things like that, or things of like I think I saw this video of this old guy. He was like talking to the news. I think it was Sky News. I have no idea, but he was just saying that he may even have to rob a bank just to go to the final, because he's never dreamed, or he's never thought of Tottenham, his hometown team, ever being in a Champions League final. And I could understand that. Like him, I could understand, because that's his team. But being like a fan, or just a neutral fan, just a random fan, like you're not gonna tell me that you think Tottenham is like the best team in Europe if they win this thing. You're gonna say that? Like I wouldn't believe them, because like they'll do that, and then the next day they'll probably like lose to freaking Burnley or something. Like that could even happen. They'll probably lose to Arsenal again, and I know that would probably trigger Tottenham fans, but that's what happened in the league, and I'm just saying how it is. It's not very convincing to me. And some of the reasons why Liverpool is going to win is because just the way they've been coming into this final. They've been fighting week in, week out. They've been trying to keep up in the league as well as stay in this competition. And they've just been fighting. They've been grinding. They've been pushing results to the limit. They've been making Man City work as well. So to me, that's just more impressive. I know they've been beating some lower teams. I think their last 4 were kind of low-tier teams, except Wolves, which they also beat them very convincingly with 2 goals from Mane. So, I mean, they just been getting the job done, and like they haven't lost since they lost to Man City, and like that's their only loss in the league. To me, that's more impressive than anything, and like it just gives more reason to root for them, to say that they're gonna win in this final because of that. Another reason is because of Klopp. What he's done in the club is very impressive. He's basically just molded this team with the years he's been in charge. He's gotten the players that he's wanted. He's gotten the players to buy into his managerial experience. He's gotten them to just like basically follow the way they play, the style that they play. He's gotten like other fans. I've seen like other commentary channels or other things on YouTube, other videos, other people saying that how James Milner is like, who knows, 30-something years old, but still playing like if he was like in his prime, things like that. It's just like how these people, like how Robertson, I don't know how you say it, I forgot, but like how he was in Hull City and they bought him and he was relegated, how Gigi Wijnaldum was relegated with Newcastle and they bought him, and look at him now, scoring 2 goals against Barcelona. I mean, it's a good narrative, and that also plays in Liverpool's favor. But to me, they've just been the superior team. Like what they've been doing in the league, what they've been doing in the Champions League, is just they've been facing the harder teams and they've been getting results. And even though they've lost in the Champions League against, like, I think a Serbian team, I mean, I don't know what happened there, but I mean, also they lost to Barcelona, but after they won, nobody even remembers that. But I mean, I saw that game, and I'm a Barca fan, but I also knew that Liverpool was probably gonna win. And you probably won't believe me, but like the way they've been playing, it's been impressive. It's been impressing me each time I've seen some of their games. And another reason why I think they're gonna win is just because of the front 3 they have. These front 3 have been like very clinical this season. Probably not as much as last season where they were just immensely clinical, but like now Mane has stepped up. Salah is starting to come back into form. Firmino has been injured, but even like the people they've been having on the bench, they've just been impressive. Like even Origi and just that Barcelona game has impressed me enough to even bet for him to score against Tottenham. Which, like, I mean, I don't doubt. Like, I mean, if he scored against Barcelona, for sure he's scoring against Tottenham. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, and another reason is just their defense. It's way superior to Tottenham's, even though Tottenham has a very good defense, and they have very good defenders. Liverpool's, just the records speak for themselves. Like, I would think that they're maybe the best defensive team in Europe. They've have the best player in the Premier League that's voted by the players, the PFA Player of the Year. They have Virgil van Dijk, who's been amazing, who has a stat of no one getting past them the whole season, which is like crazy. And maybe he might keep it if Heung-min Son doesn't get past them, but who knows? That could happen. Trent Alexander-Arnold is like the highest assisting defender in the league with like 12 assists, which is like crazy if you think about it. A defender assisting like that. And to me, like, it doesn't really impress me as much, but because like I've seen the games, I've seen some of the crosses he puts. Like, this guy is like amazing. Like, he's gonna go far in his career because of just natural talent, or I don't know, or just because he works hard on just his technique to put the ball where it needs to go. Like, his accuracy to put a ball in a certain section, or to put a ball, just, I don't know. He has a great technique, and he can basically put it where he wants it. And that, to me, that's crazy. And especially for a defender, like his free kicks, like his corners, his crosses, like all those things. He's been amazing. And Robinson is not even behind him. Like, I think he probably has like 10 or 9 assists as well. And like, that's also impressive. Like, both fullbacks have like these crazy stats. So it just gives more merit for them to win this final. Also, just the goalkeeper. A lot of people said he was a big amount of money, but to me, it's well justified because he's gotten the Golden Glove. He's got the most clean sheets in the league. He's been pretty solid in the Champions League. I think maybe he's the less scored on in the knockout stages. I don't know. I couldn't be sure of that, but I wouldn't doubt it. Because like all I can remember is just those Barcelona goals and maybe one Porto goal, or I don't remember who else they faced. But they haven't really been scored on, and I don't really see Tottenham changing that. Maybe in the final, my prediction would probably be a 3-1. 3-1 going for Liverpool. Tottenham getting maybe a goal, but it'll probably most likely, this is like probably my definite prediction, it'll probably be a 2-0 win for Liverpool. And Liverpool will be lifting up a trophy, and basically everybody that's been saying that Klopp isn't a good manager will just be eating their words up. And yeah, I guess like I'm not even mad. For me, my personal decision, not decision, but like for me, my personal opinion, like I'm pretty glad that Liverpool won. Because to me, like the way they've been playing, the way they've been doing things, the way they've been investing their money, the way they've been getting these assets, the way they've been investing in these players and getting the players that are going to buy into Klopp's style of play is just more merit for them to win. And just what they've been doing in the league is just insane. And the opponents they've been taken down in the Champions League. I know Barcelona has basically become a meme now, and people want to stomp them down and say that they're nothing without Messi and things like that. And Messi doesn't show up in the big games, but he showed up against them. And he's like the only one that's made them look really, really bad in the Camp Nou. And to me, they even played better than Barcelona did in that game. But that could be a topic for another time. But for me, basically, the definite score would be 2-0. And if you like this video, just please subscribe. And I hope you liked the video. And give it a like.